Hey everyone, this is Lillian with another quick and easy recipe. Today we're going to make biscuits, and I'm making this one especially for Grouchy Devil, who's in the UK. As a lot of you already know, biscuits in the UK are not the same thing here in America. They're actually cookies. And Grouchy Devil was watching my sausage gravy video the other day, and I just wanted to clarify what you make them on, or you put them on. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need 2 cups of self-rising flour, which is about 500 mils. I'm trying to do the UK measurements also. You're going to need a teaspoon of baking powder. Now I know self-rising flour already has this in it, so just bear with me because it makes the biscuits lighter and fluffier. You're going to need a tablespoon of sugar, granulated sugar, and about 125 mils or ½ a cup of vegetable shortening. Now, what you're going to do, you're also going to need about a cup of milk, which is about 250 mils. Regular milk, buttermilk, just whatever you'd like to use. So I'm going to get that, and we'll get started in just a minute. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to add the sugar, and the sugar is not going to give it sweetness, but it will cut down on the little bit of the bitterness of the flour. And put in your baking powder and mix it in really well with a spoon. Remember, self-rising flour already has baking powder and baking soda in it, but don't use baking soda. Make sure it's baking powder that you're putting in there. Now after that's done, you're going to take your vegetable shortening. Oh, this is slippery. Don't plop it like I just did. Sorry. Clean hands. Remember, always clean hands. And while you're doing this, make sure that your oven's preheated to 425 degrees because you're going to put them in a 425 degree oven. Now I have a pastry cutter. This is actually my mom's. She bought me one before she died, but I like this one better. Hers was better than mine. If you don't have a pastry cutter like me, you can use just 2 bread knives, see? And just do a cutting motion like this. Just a cutting motion like that. Until all the shortening and flour resembles crumbs. So I'm going to do this. And that beating you hear is me working on the table here. Now when you put your milk in and you mix it, you don't want to mix it too much, and I'll tell you why when we get there to that point. We're almost there. Just till it resembles crumbs. Sorry, I'm making lots of noise here this morning, sorry. But anyways, you want to have it resemble crumbs, almost like a cornmeal. Alright, that's all done. So next thing you're going to take is your milk, and you're going to put the entire 1 cup or 250 mils of milk in there and stir it up until you get a dough. You'll see it start to form, and your dough is going to be pretty wet, so what you're going to do is, that's mixed pretty well. Take a little bit of your flour, just a little bit, and I do this on aluminum foil, but feel free, if you have a nice workspace to do this on, put it on your workspace. You're going to put all the dough on your floured surface. This is really easy. I liken the American biscuits to like a savory scone. Any of my UK friends, let me know if I'm wrong. But this is the best way I can describe it. Alright, we're going to set the bowl aside. And now this is where you do not work your dough when you need it. Don't work it too much because the gluten or the sugars in the flour will start to break down, and you're going to have a hard biscuit instead of a nice fluffy soft one. So just work it just a little bit. You see, I don't work mine too much. Just pat it down. And then you can roll it out if you want to. I actually pat mine down a little bit because they're going to rise in the oven. And the most important thing that you need, now if you don't have a biscuit cutter or cookie cutter like this, you can use the end of a drinking glass. But just make sure that you dip whatever you're going to cut the biscuits out with, dip it in flour. You're going to push down and twist. You see? Push down and twist just a little bit, and that will help release the biscuits out of the cookie cutter or whatever you're using to cut your biscuits with. You can make these any size that you want, but this is perfect size for my family. And that's all you do. You're going to put them on your baking sheet, which I have right here. I have a Silk Pat mat on mine, but if you have a regular baking sheet, just spray it lightly with a cooking spray. You're going to put them on there, all the sides touching. And when I come back, what I'll do is brush a little bit of milk on the top of all of them. So when I get back, we'll show you how to do that. Okay, the first thing you need to do before you brush these with the milk, or you can even use melted butter, is you need to take your thumb and just make a small indentation in the middle. The reason you're doing this is so that these will all bake evenly, and your middle won't puff up really a whole lot, and everything else be done more than the middle. So you're just going to take some of your milk and you're just going to brush it on the top, and this will help it to brown on top. You can leave these in the oven. Like I said, preheat your oven to 425 degrees. I'm sorry, I don't know what the Celsius is, but I'm sure there's converters online. You can look up that for the UK measurements and all that. But leave it in for about 10-15 minutes. Check for doneness about the 10-minute mark. I wouldn't leave them in more than 15 minutes though, because if you do, they might get a little bit hard on you. You don't want hard biscuits. I usually leave mine in for about 15 minutes. And remember, you don't need a whole lot of milk, butter, cream, whatever you're using on the top of these. Just a little bit. So that's all there is to it. I'm going to put these in the oven, leave them for 15 minutes, and we'll take them out. I'll show you what they look like. Make sure that you look at the recipe, download the recipe from my blog, and I'll put the link below for that, which if you like the recipe. Remember to always comment and rate, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. I really like to hear from you. You'll see me when these are done. Alright everyone, this is fresh out of the oven. As you can see, they are nice and brown. You can leave yours in a little bit longer if you want your tops brown, more brown than that, but this is how I like my biscuits. And just let me know if you try this. I really think you're going to like this recipe, and once you try this recipe, you won't want to buy canned biscuits again. Alright, happy eating everyone. Take care.